Elena worked the double shift at the Silver Lining Diner, a place where the scent of burnt coffee and maple syrup clung to her uniform like a second skin. At 32, her life was a quiet cycle of balancing trays and stretching her paycheck to cover her younger brother's insulin and their cramped apartment's rent. She was the kind of person people looked through, not at, a moving part of the machinery of the city. But Elena had a warmth that couldn't be dimmed by fatigue. She knew every regular's name and exactly how they liked their eggs. On a rainy Tuesday afternoon, the diner was nearly empty except for an elderly man sitting in the far corner booth. He wore a rumpled suit and held a newspaper, but he hadn't turned a page in 20 minutes. While other waitresses ignored him, sensing he wasn't a big tipper, Elena noticed his hand trembling. She walked over, not with a menu, but with a glass of orange juice. She didn't ask if he wanted it, she simply set it down. "On the house, sir." "Your sugar looks a little low," she whispered with a kind smile. The man, Arthur Vance, a man who, unknown to the world, controlled a multi-billion-dollar shipping empire, looked up. He was having a severe hypoglycemic episode, his vision blurring. Before he could thank her, he slumped forward. The diner erupted in a brief panic, but Elena was already over the counter. She called emergency services, guided his breathing, and stayed on the floor with him, holding his hand and keeping him conscious until the paramedics arrived. She didn't realize that in the chaos, she had knocked over a tray of expensive glassware and missed 3 tables of impatient customers who walked out without paying. As the ambulance sped away, Elena's manager, a man named Marcus who valued margins over people, cornered her. He was furious about the lost revenue and the broken glass. "This is a business, not a hospital, Elena," he snapped. "You walked away from your station. You're done. Hand over your apron." Despite her pleas and her years of loyalty, Elena was fired on the spot. She walked home in the rain, her heart heavy with the weight of how she would tell her brother they might lose everything. The next 24 hours were a descent into despair. Elena spent the morning scouring job boards, her phone silent, her spirit breaking. She felt like her act of kindness had been the final blow to her fragile life. But while she was mourning her career at the diner, Arthur Vance was waking up in a private hospital suite. He asked the doctors who had saved him. They told him it wasn't the medicine that did the heavy lifting, it was the quick-thinking waitress who recognized the signs of his collapse before his heart gave out. Exactly 24 hours after her firing, a sleek black sedan pulled up to Elena's crumbling apartment complex. A man in a tailored suit knocked on her door. He wasn't there to serve an eviction notice, he was there to hand her an envelope and an invitation. Inside was a letter from Arthur Vance, expressing his gratitude and a deed to a small, charming bistro downtown, a property he had purchased years ago and never used. The letter read, "The world tried to dim your light because you chose to be human. I am simply providing the stage for that light to shine." Everything changed in an instant. Elena wasn't just employed, she was an owner. But the story didn't end with wealth. She turned that bistro into a sanctuary, hiring people who had been discarded by society, the elderly, the struggling, and those who needed a second chance. She learned that while one door closing can feel like the end of the world, it is often the universe clearing the path for a much larger room. Elena's life became a testament to the fact that no act of kindness is ever wasted, even when it feels like it costs you everything. In the end, it wasn't the billionaire's money that saved her, it was her own character, which finally found a world worthy of it.